So is it all an illusion? That's what I
Yeah.
keep coming back to. Is it like a
I
simulation
mean,
that we play?
yeah. I mean, so the word illusion works here as long as it's not in a way that makes it so that we don't care about it.
Oh, no. I mean,
Yeah. Um, but yes, 100%.
I mean, you always hear, dream state. You're living in a dream. That type of a thing.
Yeah. Which, goes back to why I decided like if that's the case and I agree on that, then I might as well put my intent to push the envelope, you know what I mean? Or push the needle forward. If this is just a dream, like I need to be taking more risks. You know what I mean? Like I need to be right, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of where that came from. Relate to you that I'm just waking up in another body. I realized, oh my God, I'm just waking up in this body, but like I could be not doing so much more, but I can open up, I can, you know, test the bounds, you know. There's more to be done. There's more to be accomplished in even if it's only in like a sensory experience.
I think that's what we're here to do.
Right. So it's like,
Just figuring
you
that
know,
out.
right.
So what's next?
Uh, yeah, good question.
So what risks?
I don't know. Isn't that weird?
I mean, I think that's half the battle. I've come to terms with that.
On one side, it's like I need, risks, these days are different than risks 15 years ago, right? Like I need the preservation of this vessel that I inhabit, so that I can do this work. So it's like, okay. And then I think really what it comes back around to is like there is only a state of being. So it's like what kind of risks do you want to do? It's all like internal, for the most part, obviously. But it's like, if if this vessel needs to be in a state of being, like allowing opening in order to accomplish these things, then it's like it needs to be in X amount of spaces, you know, in this physical world, which leaves me with well, how far can you push the envelope of your energetic work?
Yeah.
So on that plane, I don't know. I just continue on doing what I'm doing, until something else comes to me.
Level up.
Right.
I think it ties back to, just inherently ability to do what we might call supernatural things will come alongside of that. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking when I said what's the next risk. You know what I mean? Of course, you have to just work through. Like you gotta achieve the levels. I totally get that, but I think that's the gateway. It's the gateway to be explored. I guess. How do you navigate both? I think that's the struggle that.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, I think that's the struggle that most. I know I'm struggling with it. So how do you navigate both? How do you I mean,
I would say,
honest, like take the wheel. You know what I mean? Like I do more practice with, hey, you need to take the wheel, so and help guide the way. That's what I call it. Just let go of the wheel and let it flow.
yeah,
But it's, I guess, trusting that. So it's hard to just walk in that light, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Walk in that light simultaneously is where I think a lot of people struggle or are struggling in that aspect. And it could be, everybody's going to experience it differently, but I think that's what I've
yeah,
witnessed this week personally and others here is being able to
it-
walk both comfortably.
yeah. I mean, well, you know, let's just put a disclaimer out is like there's always going to be, or maybe not always, but currently, you know, you're going to encounter moments and periods of time, even if they feel like long periods of time, where it's just not doable because you have to overcome and release things, right? You have to recognize things. Like we all have that work to do. So there's that aspect to it. Really do believe that getting to that space is inherently individual, meaning like all the makes and models of vessels here working are meant to be different because we need all those aspects to come together. But like if I was to answer that to you personally, I would have to say like the number one thing, the easiest thing that you could focus on if that was your intention is to, tune in to what emotionally and mentally you can release to allow yourself into that space of ease, even if that's only for like, 17 seconds.
Yeah.
And that might seem like that sounds pretty like that's the answer, but it's true. It's like, because if you can practice it for 17 seconds, then tomorrow you can practice it for 20 seconds. And then the next day, when you're really feeling the grind, you can practice it for 30 seconds. You know what I mean? And then you can outweigh the scales.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So it's like having faith that you can achieve those few seconds. And like I don't feel like it takes very long, you know what I mean, to sway those scales. It's just like having the trust that like that scale has so much more weight to it.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
And for you, like when in doubt, switch it up, you know. And for me, when in doubt, observe, you know.
Yeah.
And for like my brother, when in doubt, say no. You know what I mean? That's how specific it is to like groups of like individuals.
Right.